we're talking about technology, innovation, access to funding by way of corporate social responsibility. We've got a new bill in place. Qualitatively and quantitatively, how much have things changed on the ground for the better? When we talk about...
Things are changing definitely in India and globally.
Yeah. Significantly?
Significantly, in a way, in some countries definitely. In India, in some parts of India, we have seen progress. In even poorer states, what we call comparatively poor states, like Uttarakhand, like some parts of Madhya Pradesh, we have seen changes there. We have seen definitely changes in Tamil Nadu.
So in your experience, what is the trigger that makes a state like Tamil Nadu or Uttarakhand do better on some of these parameters? Is it government push? What does it take to actually, create that inflection point?
I think it's a combination of government efforts or political will, as well as the social efforts and social will, where the ordinary people started feeling the value in education and quality education, then they demand. And if that demand reaches to the government and the politician in particular, then the politicians have to respond. And they respond in putting more budgets for education or taking care of children in other ways, enforcement of laws and etc.
Do you think that there is greater political will today, there is greater sensitivity within the political class to be able to address some of the issues that you've been fighting for over the last 4 decades?
It's a challenge which we are fighting for, and that is one of the reasons we are organizing this.
When you go back home at night today, do you feel more hopeful, or do you feel resigned to the fact that
I will never feel resigned. I am a fighter. I will keep on fighting till we put an end to this menace of child labor, slavery, illiteracy which the children are facing. So it's a long fight. I know that this is an age-old mindset and complacency which prevail in our society, which goes across in politicians as well. So it's a long battle. So sometimes we win some battles, but it goes on. We have to win the war, yes.
Talking about battles, the current battle that's underway is on demonetization and whether it's delivering on the government's stated objectives or not. And of course, the narrative that the government is putting out has changed significantly in the last 25 odd days. But has it had an impact on child trafficking, for instance? Do you see this as being something that could help your cause?
We gathered some knowledge, not much. There is no significant knowledge available. But we have seen that many of the traffickers are not bringing children to those areas where they used to bring in the past. So that we are checking in Delhi as some sort of examples we are trying to find. Because we know that every single penny which is earned out of child trafficking, child slavery, child labor is a black money. And not only in that, but all the organized crimes generate black money. But we cannot solve the problem of black money only through this demonetization. Though I welcomed it and supported this, but there should be continuous process to plug those sources where the organized crime as well as the trafficking of children and child labor generates. So the crime, corruption and black money make a full circle. So if we try to fight black money, then we have to fight with crimes as well as corruption. And what are the crimes? Child labor is a serious crime.
We continue to see child labor, we continue to see trafficking. So is it really about the law, or is it about effective implementation and enforcement? And where do you see the maximum collusion? Because clearly, I mean, there is institutional collusion as well to ensure that this continues.
Of course. I came across several occasions and several individuals and institutions which are colluded with the traffickers. Even the politicians were colluded with the traffickers, and that's why the traffickers can freely work. And also the child labor employers and slave masters, many of them are politicians in themselves. So that is very much there. But I know that laws alone will not work. Whatever good law we have to have strong political will to enforce those laws. And we have to have a strong social movement, the mass demand and awareness about those laws to be implemented.
Since you're talking about creating a social movement, you're also trying to create a social movement of sorts through 100 million for 100 million. So 100 million underprivileged children who are going to be engaging and working with 100 million privileged children, if I could call them that, children who have access to education, healthcare and so on and so forth. What is the idea behind that campaign?
The idea behind is that at least 100 million children in the world are deprived of their childhood, education, freedom, healthcare, nutrition, everything. And that is a constituency which are growing in different directions. There is another constituency of at least 100 million young people out of almost 2 billion young people who wanted to do something for society. They are not only full with energy and enthusiasm, but they also have a strong element of idealism. They have hunger to prove themselves and do something good. So I am concentrating on those 100 million young people to become the spokespersons, voices for those 100 million left out.
And you're going to be launching this in a few days?
Yeah, we are going to launch it on 11th of December, so very soon. So we are all excited, and we have got tremendous excitement and response from the universities, colleges, students, social media groups and so on. And I'm sure that it would be a very effective game changer in the world.
Well, speaking of game changers, I mean, you know, it's not every day that you see 14 Nobel laureates along with corporate leaders come together, you know, in the Rashtrapati Bhavan to talk about children's rights and children's issues.
It is for the first time.
It is for the first time. What is it that you know, in terms of a declaration, if I could call it that, you know, if I were to ask you to prioritize what this summit would like to put down as a declaration, what would it be?
It would not be a declaration.
An informal agenda of change.
What we could call it a collective commitment or a collective resolve or bill for children, something like that. So we are working on it. But that would basically be the combination of several commitments which would be made by the Nobel laureates and world leaders. The commitment how to end violence, for instance, in certain areas where the children are facing tremendous violence due to conflicts and wars, or the issues of refugee children, or the children who are being brainwashed by some you know, fanatic forces and being turned into radicalized. So each one of us is supposed to make one commitment at least, and then the collective commitment would be the outcome that will match.
So what would your commitment be?
My commitment would be to end child slavery in my lifetime.
Mr. Satyarthi, I know it's a battle that you've been waging alone for a long time, and of course now you do have support coming in, not just from within India, but from the rest of the world as well. We wish you the very best of luck, and we hope that the collective wisdom does prevail and we do see change garnering momentum. Thank you very much for joining us on CNBC TV 18. We wish you all the very best. Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up the CNBC TV 18 special, but do stay tuned. We will get you all the updates from the Laureates and Leaders Conference at the Rashtrapati Bhavan as the world gathers to prioritize the needs of children.